They told the world it was a war for freedom. But in the shadows, another war was being fought. One built on secrets, deception, and lies. For years, soldiers fought in the jungles, while the real decisions were made behind closed doors. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the Vietnam War's darkest secrets. The hidden operations, secret experiments, and truths the world was never meant to see. Chapter 1: Operation Phoenix, the War in the Shadows. They called it Operation Phoenix. On paper, it was a program designed to neutralize the Viet Cong, but in reality, it was something much darker. Between 1968 and 1972, the CIA launched one of its most secretive and controversial missions in South Vietnam. Their goal? To identify, capture, or eliminate anyone suspected of helping the enemy. Villagers disappeared overnight. Suspected spies were interrogated, often tortured. Thousands were killed and most were never proven guilty of anything. The American government called it intelligence gathering. But to the people of Vietnam, it was fear pure and silent fear. A war that was no longer about right or wrong, but about control. Chapter 2: Operation Ranch Hand, the Deadly Experiment. Imagine this. You're a farmer in Vietnam, standing in your rice field, and one morning, the sky turns orange. Planes fly overhead, spraying something that looks like mist. But it wasn't rain, it was poison. The U.S. military called it Operation Ranch Hand. They dropped over 20 million gallons of chemical herbicides, including the deadly Agent Orange. It was meant to destroy jungles and crops, so the Viet Cong would have no place to hide. But the chemicals didn't stop at the leaves. They sank into the soil, the rivers, and the bodies of millions. Even today, children in Vietnam are still born with the scars of that war. Not from bullets, but from the invisible poison left behind. Operation Ranch Hand wasn't just a mission. It was an experiment on nature itself, and humanity paid the price. Chapter 3: Psychological Warfare, Controlling the Mind. The Vietnam War wasn't only fought on the battlefield, it was also fought in the mind. Both sides used psychological warfare, spreading fear, confusion, and propaganda to break the enemy's will. The U.S. military dropped millions of leaflets from planes, broadcast fake radio stations, and even used ghostly recordings, voices of the dead, to frighten Vietnamese soldiers into surrendering. They called it Operation Wandering Soul. Loudspeakers hidden in the jungle played haunting sounds, cries of spirits, wailing voices, based on the Vietnamese belief that souls of the unburied never find peace. Imagine being in the darkness of the jungle, hearing what sounds like your ancestors crying out from the afterlife. It wasn't just war anymore. It was madness. Chapter 4: The Pentagon's Hidden Files. For years, Americans at home were told that the war was being won, that victory was near, that their sons' sacrifices were worth it. But behind closed doors, the Pentagon knew a different story. A top-secret document later known as the Pentagon Papers revealed that U.S. officials had been lying to the public for years. They knew the war couldn't be won, yet they kept sending more soldiers. In 1971, when those papers were leaked to the New York Times, the truth hit like a bombshell. For the first time, Americans saw what had really been happening, a war built on deception and fueled by pride. Sometimes, the biggest enemy isn't the one across the battlefield. It's the one hiding behind the curtain. Chapter 5. The Secrets They Never Admitted. There were other secrets too, the missions that never officially happened. American commandos secretly crossed into Laos and Cambodia, even though those countries weren't part of the war. It was all denied, every mission labeled classified, every casualty marked missing, and in the chaos of those jungles, truth disappeared with them. For every battle that made the headlines, there were 10 others buried under silence. For every soldier who returned, there was one whose name was never spoken again. Chapter 6. The Human Cost of Secrets. Decades later, when the guns fell silent, the secrets began to surface, and so did the pain. Veterans came home broken, haunted not just by what they saw, but by what they were ordered to do. Many were exposed to Agent Orange, their bodies slowly poisoned by the very chemicals they carried. Others lived with guilt, for villages burned, for orders followed without question. "We were told we were saving the world," one veteran said, "but no one told us what it would do to our souls." The Vietnam War wasn't just a conflict of nations. It was a mirror, showing the world what happens when power hides behind secrecy and fear. Some secrets were buried, some were leaked, but all of them left scars on the land, on the people, and on history itself. In our next episode, we'll uncover what happened after the war ended, how the fall of Saigon changed Asia forever, and how the ghosts of Vietnam still shape modern wars today. Because history doesn't stay buried, it waits for someone to finally tell the truth. Like the video and subscribe the channel for more this type of history videos.